I started baking when I was pretty little actually. I think it was like when I was 5 or 6. I always wanted to help my mom like bake stuff because she would make like cookies or things for the holidays. And then when I was growing older, I think I would just watch like a lot of videos, and I think that really inspired me. I really liked especially like vlogs of people like cooking or baking. That was really interesting for me, and I think that's what inspired me to start baking. Before, I would just bake like what my mom was making. Like I would just try to like copy whatever she did, like because I looked up to her a lot. But I think as I grew up, I started to try recipes like from different cultures, or like just try more difficult things. One of my favorite things about baking is like that sense of togetherness, because after you make food, like it's really rewarding to watch like the people you love eating and enjoying that food. And so I definitely think the holidays is like that time. I think especially like after I made the stuff, like sometimes I'll bake stuff and I'll bring it for my friends, and just seeing them all like enjoying it, and then like sort of laughing and being like, oh, this is like so good. I think that's like very rewarding. But also for me, like personally, when I make stuff myself, it is like a way for me to de-stress. Like a lot of the times when I have a lot of work to do, I'll just find myself like going to the kitchen and just making something, because it really helps me to de-stress. I feel like a lot of people are intimidated, especially with baking, because like they think like, oh, it has to be really precise, or like, you know, like some people have been baking for a long time and like I don't really know how to start. But honestly, I would just say like bake with your friends, or like something like that. Like that's really fun. And even if it does not turn out good, which has definitely happened to me a lot of the times, it's like you'll realize that it's much more fun, like no matter what the outcome is. There were a lot of times where like I would try like a new dish, or I would try to bake something new, and it just wasn't working out. A lot of the times like my mom will notice, or like my friends will notice, even if I bring something that doesn't look good, and they'll still encourage me to make stuff, and I think that is really like helpful and motivating for me. I cook for myself like almost every day. So every day I'll get groceries and I'll cook stuff. I think baking is more for like for special occasions, or like when I'm really stressed. I think I find myself baking more than cooking, and cooking is like more like an everyday thing that I just started doing. Since I have gotten more experience in cooking and I sort of understand the ingredients more, sometimes if something fails, like I can sort of like recover from it just by knowing like what flavors that I might enjoy, and I'll like might add something. So it might not turn out exactly like how the recipe intended for it to be, but then it still turns out pretty good. Like sometimes I'll try a recipe and it will be successful, and like I really like how it turned out, but then I will try to like add my own sort of twist. And that's also something that I really like about cooking and baking. I think you could be really, even though it is already like a creative thing, I think it's really fun to see like other people being creative, but also I kind of noticed it about myself as well. When I make more things, like you can sort of add your own personal twist. I think definitely by being able to devote your own time, and then also, like I said earlier, sort of like add your own twist to things, I think that makes it much more rewarding than buying stuff. And yeah, I think it's like the experience is really nice, and I think more people should try it, even if they are sort of like scared of trying something new.